Hi everybody and welcome to the Vegan Mooncat. Today we're going to be discussing Disney's new TV show, Moon Knight. Specifically the main character, who's vegan, in the first episode decides to start harming animals again because the date with the girl that he didn't even know he was going on a date with doesn't turn up. Just a warning to anybody who's going to watch Moon Knight, this does contain spoilers about the first episode of the show. The main character, Stephen Grant, gets approached by one of his female co-workers to ask if they're still okay to go on the date. Until this point, the character Stephen has no idea that he's supposed to be going on a date with a co-worker. And the reason for this is his body's been taken over on multiple occasions by another consciousness of somebody called Mark Spector, who's been sent to Earth to do the bidding of an Egyptian god, and that is why Stephen doesn't remember ever making the date, because it was actually Mark Spector that made it, not him. So even though Stephen didn't make the date, he still agrees to go out with her because he does like her, despite the fact that she's booking a steakhouse and he's a vegan. After the scene where he's confirmed with his co-worker that he is actually going to go on the date with her, his boss comes over and even she says, "What's a vegan going to eat at a steakhouse?" Unfortunately for Stephen, his alter ego Mark now takes over his body for the next 2 days to do the bidding of the Egyptian god. Stephen at this point doesn't realize that 2 days has passed because he's not actually conscious while his body has been taken over, and he turns up for the date at the steakhouse anyway. So there Stephen is, he's waiting at the steakhouse, she's not turning up, so he gives her a call to find out why she's not there. During the phone call, she confirms that he's 2 days late for the date and won't be arriving, which really upsets him. I would have just left, to be honest. I certainly won't be ordering anything from a steakhouse. Stephen, who's a vegan, decides he'll order a steak instead of going home. At this point, the waiter asks Stephen what kind of steak he wants, but because they're trying to portray Stephen as a long-term vegan who's possibly never eaten a steak in his life, Stephen has no idea what kind of steak to order. And in the end, he just says to the waiter to bring in the best bit of the cow. The waiter then makes a suggestion for a fillet steak, which the vegan Stephen says sounds delicious. Obviously, I can't speak for every single vegan out there, but I can speak for myself and the vegans that I know, and not myself or any of them would choose to participate in animal cruelty just because a date didn't turn up. And it's also a date he was completely unaware of until 2 days before because it's not him that made it. What I think irritates me mostly about this is that veganism is an ethical choice not to harm animals. And it's not just some kind of flexible dietary choice that you can dip in and out of depending on how upset you are about a date not turning up, or anything else for that matter. So my thoughts on this nonsense are, is the writer just completely ignorant of what veganism is and thinks it's some kind of flexible dietary choice that can be altered at any time depending on the circumstances? Or is it something a little bit more insidious at play here? Is it possible animal agriculture companies are having an input on this kind of thing to try and stem the progress of veganism? Now, I am aware that that sounds a bit like a conspiracy theory, but if you just have a think about it, does it really sound like it's out of the realms of possibility? I mean, there are so many people out there just trying to portray veganism as a dietary choice, and a dietary choice can always be changed, as this show proves at this moment in this scene. But an ethical position not to be part of animal abuse is something that is much harder to switch in and out of. Well, it is in my opinion anyway. Anyway, that's the end of the video. Let me know in the comments if you think this is just ignorance on behalf of the writer about what veganism is, or is there something a little bit more sinister at play? Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time.